This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1831, The Easiest Way to Build Wealth as a Couple by Elle Martinez with marriagekidsandmoney.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Now let's get right to it and continue optimizing your life. The Easiest Way to Build Wealth as a Couple by Elle Martinez with marriagekidsandmoney.com. Two incomes are better than one, right? Marriage can be a beautiful partnership when spouses combine their gifts, talents, and support. Two incomes for a couple can also be a blessing if used wisely. Let me explain. The biggest trap for couples looking to retire early. Since 2014, I've been interviewing couples who've done extraordinary things with their money. Paying off 6 figures of debt, traveling the country or world together, and retiring early. Though there are so many different dreams and paths each couple took, certain patterns kept coming up. For those who retired early, I'm talking about 30s and 40s, one key to their success was avoiding the two-income trap. Think about it. When you and your spouse got married, you probably saved some money by sharing expenses. What did you do with the money saved? If you're like most couples, you upgraded some things. Maybe you found a nicer place, got some beautiful furniture to decorate, and went out to eat more. It's not wrong or bad to take things up a notch, but if you're looking to become financially independent, one of the best things you can do is learn to budget and live on one income. I know there are some areas of the country where that seems impossible. But even if you make that your goal and work towards it, you can reap huge benefits. It can shave decades off your retirement date, and it will help reduce financial stress in your marriage. The math behind retirement. Let's say there's two couples who are trying to retire early. Chris and Melissa take home about $55,000, and their buddies Mike and Alyssa earn $80,000. All of them worked hard, paid their way through school, and made sure they had no credit card debt or car loans. They want to maintain a similar lifestyle when they retire, so they're saving from day one. They're both using low-cost index funds. Financially speaking, they're all ahead of the curve. Here's where they differ. Mike and Alyssa have set aside 15% of their paychecks to go towards retirement. That's better than the average and means they'll contribute $12,000 per year. Chris and Melissa decided they'd live off one income of $30,000 while socking away the rest, leaving a healthy amount of $25,000 for retirement. How soon do you think they can retire? For Chris and Melissa, they can retire in just under 19 years. And their friends with the bigger income, they're looking at over 42 years. Almost 3 decades of difference between the two of them. Okay, let's say Alyssa and Mike step it up. They too put $25,000 into their accounts each year. How soon can they retire? Did you guess 26 and a half years? Wait, why didn't they get 15 years like their friends? It's because it's not just about how much you earn or even the amount you contribute. The key factor to retiring early is the percentage of your income compared to your expenses. Want to become financially independent faster? Grow that gap between what you earn and what you spend. And for couples, learning to live on one income can be a game changer. How to grow that gap fast? If you're like most couples though, it's going to take some time to get up to that level of savings. The good news is that even if you focus on improving one expense each time, you'll shave off time for retirement. The question for most is, where do we begin? There are so many approaches you can take. Some couples like to go for big wins. They look for their biggest expenses and slash them. Others like to knock them down little by little. They feel it's a more sustainable path. Either approach works. But even before you start on your plan, I want you to do 2 things. Number 1, discuss what matters most to you. Sit down one afternoon or evening and talk about what you truly want to do. If money weren't a concern, what would you like to do? Where would you want to go? The more you can describe it, the better off you'll be. And number 2, review your monthly expenses for value. On another day, look at last month's expenses and go through it line by line. We're not trying to find ways to save just yet. Instead, as you go through them, ask yourselves, how important is this? Does this bring us closer to our dream? Once you two have an idea of where you want to go, it becomes easier to move your money in that direction. Make money dates a part of your routine. Use them to not only take care of the finances, but keep each other motivated and encouraged. You two are an awesome team that can achieve some great things when you work together. You just listened to the post titled "The Easiest Way to Build Wealth as a Couple" by Elle Martinez with marriagekidsandmoney.com. And now the cost of living has never been higher in history. Many of us have student debt, a mortgage, car payments, medical bills, and the list goes on. On top of that, there's no thought more stressful than leaving that financial burden on a loved one's lap if something ever happened. On that note, it makes sense why people get life insurance, especially term coverage, which is surprisingly affordable. Why not pay a bit each month to protect the ones you love? If you're asking yourself this question, choose Ladder. You just need a few minutes and a phone or laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithms work in real time, so you'll find out instantly if you're approved. Ladder is 100% digital, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork when you apply for $3 million in coverage or less. There's no hidden fees. You can cancel anytime and get a full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. So go to ladderlife.com/OFD today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/OFD. ladderlife.com/OFD. This is a timely article for me because I'm fairly new at managing joint finances with my Midwestern gentleman. We're currently in month 3 of living together, and it's been a big but also fun adjustment for me. I'm learning that with more variables to consider in my circumstances, the more likely I am to be wrong about my assumptions when it comes to budgeting. In the past, it was just me, my dog, my house, and one stable income. Now we have 3 pets. I recently found 2 kittens and we decided to keep them. My dog, a child we have half the time, a house, one stable income, and another income that varies greatly. With more variables at play, I'm finding that more unanticipated expenses come up, and there are simply more factors that need to be considered with planning. So there's more room for error. Even though we've gone way over budget in our first couple of months living together, I look at it as a learning curve. My original budget simply wasn't realistic because I didn't have enough data to work from. As time goes on, we're going to get better at managing our money together. So I'm considering this first 6 months as simply collecting data. What are our joint spending habits? What do we need to make room for in the budget? And what does a realistic budget even look like? Once we get a better handle on our expenses, we'll be in a much better position to come up with savings and investing goals together because we'll be more knowledgeable about the gap between our income and expenses. So if you find yourself in a similar position, I'm going to encourage both of us to be patient with ourselves. As long as we continue to engage with our budget and pay attention, we'll eventually find our way to a budget that works. That'll do it for today. Have a happy rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.